It was a nice Thursday. Walking home from school, I remembered it was drop day, the day when the drop system starts giving items. So I got on my computer and started idling. It was a crazy thing to idle. It never works nowadays, but I do it anyway. Later in the game, I received one refined metal as a drop item. Boy, I was shocked, because everyone knows Valve didn't add refined metal to the drop system, but I didn't care. I got something interesting for once. How could I get my day any better, I thought, because I had 2 refined in my backpack. The possibilities are endless, I told myself. I carefully took the refined out and put it on the craft table. I was so excited to finally craft my first hat. Wishing myself luck, I clicked the craft button. I waited. Then it finished, with an agonizing shriek that made your heart skip a beat. The prompt wasn't the same as it was before. Instead of saying crafting succeeded, it was backwards. I was confused. I just thought it was a bug. This couldn't have been hacked, I thought, because for one, it's an online game from an official company. Then the screen flickered for a split second. Then the item was displayed. I didn't even have the click OK button. It showed the mining light. People consider it a bad hat, but I didn't care about that. What I noticed was the engineer. He was more gloomy. His shirt was extremely darker, and his eyes were glowing red. The thing that got me the most was the craft number, the devil's number. I think that was a little creepy, considering the fact that the engineer looked demonic. The hat itself wasn't too bad. I equipped it on my engineer. Once I equipped the hat, the screen flickered again. Then that's when I thought the game was being hacked, as the engineer had the most disturbing grin I have ever seen, and his shirt was more darker. I couldn't believe my eyes. What the hell was going on? I turned off the game for the day and went to bed. The next morning, I went to get ready for school. I did not forget about what happened yesterday. So I was going to tell my friends about what happened last night. I spread the rumor about what happened to the game. Most of the people at my school did not play TF2, so they did not really care. I got to my friends and told them about what happened. They were shocked to hear about this, because at that moment, one of them was asking to meet me at their house tonight to show them. That night, I put on my jacket and told my parents I was going to my friend's house for a visit. They told me to be back by 9 p.m., and I said, okay, and left. My friend invited me in, and she led me to her gaming computer. It was complex for me, because the keyboard was split in half, but I didn't think that was a problem. I was a fast typer anyway. My friend told me to show her the hat, and she looked over it very carefully. My friend was an expert at programming at the moment. She said it was normal. Lots of items have the craft number 666. Then I told her about the engineer. She was disturbed to hear that, because she told me to kindly leave. I was upset to be kicked out so early. I headed home, only to find out this nightmare had become much worse. I got on my computer to play some TF2. I picked engineer and started playing like most people did. I had fun. Some of my friends were on the same server with me. Then it started getting more disturbing over time. Like, the map was slowly turning red. The screen was blurring, and then my friend and my teammates slowly died off. Eventually, I was the only one left, and blue team was just standing there, looking at me, like I was their worst nightmare. One tried to shoot at me, and it did nothing. I tried to move, but the keyboard took control of everything. I was just sitting there, watching my character slaughter everyone. Every person I killed left. The engineer was eventually the only one left on the server. I sat there, watching him. Then, the most high-pitched scream I've ever heard crashed the game. I couldn't play anymore. I was scared. How could Valve allow this to happen? I went to bed. I was playing TF2 again, but I was the spy. I played as usual. I came across an engineer with his buildings, and as I got closer with my zapper, the background became more blurred and darker. Then the world paused. I couldn't move. The engineer slowly turned around, with the same disturbing details I saw in my character loadout. I was horrified, unable to comprehend what was going to happen next, and just stared at the screen, with my eyes filled with fear. He walked towards me, with a devilish grin on his bloody face. He ripped off my arm holding the zapper, and blood just started to spray everywhere. And then the engineer told me, "Now just stop trying to mess with my contraptions, Nick." I was screaming. I couldn't bear the pain. Without effort, he punched a hole through my chest and ripped out my heart. I was seeing my life flash before my very eyes. I fell to the ground. I was dying, and for the very first time, I felt like it was over. I looked up to find Engineer with his eyes on fire, laughing at me for my failure. I woke up with sweat everywhere. It was my first nightmare in over 5 years. I immediately got on my computer and started up TF2 and deleted my hat. Never to find those occurrences happening again. I thought it was over. Then I heard a clank on my window. I looked out to find a man sitting there. He looked up and waved at me. Then he disappeared with no trace. I quit TF2 ever since, and I still have nightmares of the engineer slaughtering me every night.